everyone. I'm not going to make a video on 5 and 6 for now. If you guys need one, let me know, but I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Topic 7 is the largest topic in this course, and it's really where you map out your grant. So I'm going to go through this step by step to make sure I'm explaining myself correctly. So when you write a grant, we're writing it in sections. The first section we wrote up here was your objectives. Down here we talked about what these objectives might cost in a budget. And then in this module 7, we really map out the rest of the grant. So let's look at each section. First is your organization. Most grants require you to have an organizational history, accomplishments, and descriptions in your grant. So in this module, you'll be doing exactly that. Give me a history of your school, maybe some accomplishments if you've had past grants at your school concerning technology, and then define and describe your target population. So I really want you to be as detailed as possible in all of these. For example, in the first one, get that school report card or a similar document to get the school performance scores, to get the free and reduced lunch percentages, to get your letter grade as a school, things like that. In defining your population, that might not be the whole school. For example, you may be teaching at St. John Primary, that's my kiddo's school, but you may only be writing the grant for the 4 first grade teachers. So up here you would be describing the entire school, St. John Primary, but down here you would only be describing those 4 first grade teachers and their students that the grant would impact. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Go back down to Module 7 and we'll go with 7B, Problems and Needs. So the problem statement in a grant is usually the first thing an evaluator will read. When I'm evaluating grants, that's the first thing I read. So you're simply going to state your problem that you will be solving with the grant. When you do this, you need to cite sources to back up your plan after that statement. For example, your problem statement may be 80% of first grade students at St. John Primary are not achieving 60% or better on the annual school standardized test. So that is citing specific documents and being very specific as to what the problem you are trying to solve is. The best way to start a problem statement, in my opinion, is to look at other people's problem statements. So I've given a few sources here, and I'll keep adding to these with good problem statements on them. Okay, program goals and program designs. So up a few modules ago, you wrote objectives and then you mapped them out to what you thought could address those objectives. So you're just taking that and making it more specific and adding on to it. So you want to make sure that your goals and objectives are measurable, just like our goals and objectives in our classrooms. Then you want to make sure they are aligned to Common Core or to benchmarks or to standards or to GLEs, whatever your school is using. The goals are broad overarching statements. The objectives are specific measurable statements. This is just like standards and benchmarks. For example, the goal of the program may be to increase student achievement in first grade math by 10%. An objective may be for students to use the Smart Response clicker system while learning fractions and decimals for a series of 2 weeks worth of lessons or something like that. So there may be multiple objectives under each goal. So after identifying your goals and objectives, create a narrative of your program that you will create that you will use to create the grant. So just talk to me. Tell me exactly what you want to do in the classroom and how the money that you are going to spend will create a change and reach your goals. Again, a good way to look at this is by looking at examples. So I've given you a couple of examples there. The last part of this, of course, is the evaluation. Tell me how each goal and objective will be evaluated. Link each goal to a specific measurable evaluation method. Very easy way to do this is if you're measuring student achievement, use some kind of existing instrument. So if you want to see a 10% growth in student achievement, use some kind of standardized test that they are already taking at the end of the year. You can also use, if you're with the little bitties, you can create your own rubric to see if they will meet these goals and objectives. Okay, so that's our Module 7. Now know that this is not the last thing you will do in this class. The last thing you will do in this class is actually write the grant according to the instructions on the grant, and then you will turn it in to me and I will evaluate it as I would if I was one of the evaluators of the grant. So all of these little items in here I will grade individually, but most of all I'll give you feedback on how to make them better, and then you will take all of the feedback and put that into the final grant. So I hope that helps a bit, and see you soon.